Hey there, if you have a 90's ATK base, you might notice that the pickup selector has three modes. It has the attack mode, which is the humbucker, and it has two single coil modes where the neck single coil pickup is used in a traditional mode, which has a high cut filter, and when the switch is in the center position, it has the bright mode, which doesn't have the high cut filter. Well, on my particular base, I can barely tell the difference between traditional mode and the bright mode. So I'm going to open this up, and I suspect that there's a capacitor and a resistor that we can modify to have this thing roll off a bit more to the high, so it's more pronounced in the traditional position. So we'll take it apart and we'll have a look. Alright, so I've removed the back of the ATK base here, and we've got our battery, our preamp, and I've also removed the pickup selector switch, which is attached to another little circuit board. And on the front of that board there is a small cap and a resistor here, and I've done some probing around and I've determined that that is in fact the filter for the traditional mode. So I've been trying to measure them in circuit, and it's not really working out too well for me. It looks to be, judging on the color code of the resistor, it's about a 9K resistor, but the cap, the markings are just not telling me what the value is, so I'll probably have to pull it off and measure it. And then we'll leave the resistor in place and try and select a new capacitor that will give us more of a roll off of the high end in the traditional mode. So I'll get that out of there, and I don't have my soldering iron in this room with me, so I'm going to actually not show the soldering part. But you want to come around to the back and find out where the cap comes through, and basically just heat up both terminals with your soldering iron, and you can just pull it right out. It should just come right out if you heat up both of those terminals at once. So I'll do that, and we'll figure out what the new value is. Alright, I've got the new cap installed here, and I'll flip it over so we can take a look. And there's the new cap. It's actually it looks a little bit larger, but there's still enough room to cram it all in there. And I'll actually take the old cap and just tape it to the back of the cover plate in case I ever decide to put this thing back to its original state. So we'll get her all back together, and then we'll play a sound sample. Alright, so we'll start off in the bright mode. We'll do a sample. Basically, the way it was before, traditional and bright, there was very little difference. It was really hard to tell. You even flick the switch around. So here's bright. And here's the new mode, the new traditional mode with more high end rolled off. Before, and here's after. And so we now have three modes. We have the humbucker mode, and the bright mode, and the traditional mode with the high end rolled off.